Hey there everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. This is going to be like a new sort of little series type thing we're going to do, where we're going to jump into unranked draft and take a hero that I haven't played in Hero League yet, and that I'm not quite confident enough to bring into Hero League, but that I've seen do pretty well, or that I think is a pretty nice niche in the game, or we just want to get a better understanding of that hero. We're going to grab him, take him for a spin, and see what we can make of that hero. And as you can see in this game, we're going to be playing Nazeebo. Nazeebo is a pretty interesting one, specialist with a good push. Got some interesting control abilities and does sort of steady, sustained damage over the game. I'm going to grab Widowmakers at level 1, which when our spiders from our Q ability attack 100 times, they will start doing 30% more damage, which is pretty cool. Alarak being a big jerk and knocking it around with telekinesis. One of the things I found with Nazeebo, compared to, I'm used to playing obviously the old Nazeebo, and with the old Nazeebo I often would spec into longer range on his abilities. What I found was it didn't really affect me too much with his Q or his E, but I found that the zombie wall was actually quite difficult to lay down. You can see I was trying to catch Alarak with it, and it wasn't actually activating because it's so short range. And we have lost this early lane pretty damn hard. There's no way for us to get that globe. We actually have to tap the well. And yeah, this is kind of important. I'm saying, look guys, Alarak just owns me. And this is something I learned in this game, is Nazeebo. As far as solo laners go, that's the thing, I don't think he's actually that good, or he's only going to be good against specific heroes. Alarak obviously would be one of the #1 solo laners at the moment, but like he just walks up to us and zaps us with his lightning every time it's off cooldown. We cannot get him off max health. He's not going to push the lane in or do anything. But there's literally nothing we can do right here except for sit and wait. He's very open to being ganked, but there's not much that we could do. Anyway, our teammates are... I'm not sure if Jaina is supporting us or going against us. No, okay, Jaina was supporting us, saying, alright, Nazeebo never wins against Alarak. Thank you very much. Zarya doesn't understand what makes a good solo laner, so this is actually important. Let's talk about this. What makes a good solo laner? So by Zarya's logic, for example, you consider Sylvanas to probably be the best solo laner in the game. You know, she does tons of damage to minions. She is probably the #1 pushing hero. You know, Sergeant Hammer pretty good as well. They're both pretty awful solo laners though. Why are they bad solo laners? Because being a pushing hero does not a good solo laner make. Good solo laner is something like Alarak, who cannot push at all. Someone who is safe, someone who has good self-sustain, usually some pretty good poke, and very survivable, and have, you know, decent wave clear, decent wave control, but that's not too important. So that's why you have heroes like Thrall or Alarak, who've got really, really bad wave clear, are actually like considered to be extremely good solo laners. Why is that? It's because, well, they're just so survivable. They heal themselves constantly with their lightning. In the case of Alarak, the red lightning. In the case of Thrall, the blue lightning. And they just poke you while you are there. And if you don't have any form of self-sustain yourself, they just slowly kill you. And there's nothing you can do. They zone you off the waves, and it's really tough. You've got someone like Chen, who's a different sort of solo laner. Chen, in comparison, now he just sits in the middle of the wave. You can't do damage to him through his shields, but he can push out the lane a little bit more. Dahaka, very strong as well, or Falstad. Now those heroes have very strong wave clear, and not a ton of self-sustain. Basically, Dahaka's a bit more. And basically what they do is they sit back, they clear out your wave. Oh, this is going to be a pretty big fight, I think. Trying to catch him. He does spot the zombie wall, unfortunately. Trying to knock us back. Throw the jar, but miss the jar, so that's not good. And now we're in a lot of trouble. He's trying to do ring around the rosies, peekaboo, run away. Alarak does catch us into the corner and wrecks us, but our cooldowns had come off in the meantime, so we pick up a kill on him in return. Greedy Alarak going for the kill. I say at the end of that fight, he would have been much better just backing off or using telekinesis to save himself, and then just basically enjoying even more lane dominance. Instead, we get to control that top beacon basically for free because he died. So that's pretty damn nice for us. Can't complain. Valo does arrive to try to take it back, but she's too late. But yeah, you have heroes like Dahaka or Falstad, really good solo laners as well. Because they can just Hearthstone back and use their global to get back into the lane. So they don't actually miss out on anything. And that's sort of, I suppose that's what makes good solo laners these days. Rexar, another great solo laner, because again, Misha just, you can't get her off the lane. She's got so much survivability and tankiness, and they've got pretty good wave clear as well if they spec into it. But yeah, solo laners, what makes them good, what makes them bad? Nazeebo, like I said, I think against some heroes he'll be pretty good, but he's not going to be that good in general. That's kind of my take on it. It's similar to Zagara. Zagara used to be like one of the #1 solo laners. Not so anymore. Not so anymore. She's just a lot weaker than she used to be. Now, Vala will obviously out-trade us. A lot of our stuff's on cooldown, but we have a minion wave, and minions hurt when you add them up. So Vala tanks the minion wave and actually walks away the worst for that trade. And we do get a little bit of self-sustain from our trait. Whenever we kill a minion that has poison on it, it will improve our max health and mana, which is kind of nice. I'll throw some spiders out. As you can see, we've been very much struggling in this game, by the way, to finish that level 1 quest. Widowmaker's really not working out too well for us. But, oh well, I think we do finish it eventually, so we'll get to see that in action, but it's really going to depend on who the heroes are, what abilities you have ready for you. You can see there at level 7 we've got Dead Rush, which is going to make our zombie wall do more damage, and when it expires, 3 of the zombies will get up and run and start doing some damage. So I found it's a really nice talent. It adds a lot of damage to your kit, a lot of wave clear and pushing potential as well, and some pretty nice pick damage if you catch someone inside that. There we go, we catch Val with the spiders this time and they're doing a chunk of extra damage. Pretty nice. At level 4 we picked up Big Voodoo, which is going to improve the benefits of our trait here, of our passive ability, which is basically going to give us, you can see the counter is just above our health bar on the bottom left. It's going to give us permanent bonuses to our health and our mana, our maximum health and maximum mana, as we kill minions which have our poison on them, which is pretty useful. I like Big Voodoo a lot, just getting more max health, more max mana. I just think it's a very useful thing to have. It's going to protect us from some of that burst, and going to be pretty nice. And then the Dead Rush, like I said, level 7. We'll talk about it. Level 13 talent is I think the coolest one. We'll talk about it when we get there, but I think that's probably the biggest deal for playing Nazeebo for me personally. That's the niche for him. That's the point where I go, okay, Nazeebo just became an awesome hero. Again, we'll talk about that when we get there. Could have picked up that glow, but we let it go. Was just trying to get a bit of vision. You can see our teammates were invading at the enemy team's siege camp, so I wanted to be there and be ready. Gul'dan looks like was trying to do that, so our teammates did pick him off. We just want to maintain this push. Ooh, almost catching the Alarak inside of that zombie wall, but no luck. We do have level 10 though, and the enemy team does not. Our teammates are keeping the rest of the enemy team quite busy down there at the back. Alarak does miss telekinesis on us, which is good news for us. He starts B-stepping and gets himself caught in the zombie wall, which is not good for him. Use the Q to try and knock it down. I think he's just B-stepping. He's just given up on this game, I think. I think he's having a bit of rage at his teammates. Lay down the zombie wall. Throw in his spiders as well. And there you go. Gul'dan gets stuck in and takes a nice chunk of damage. You can hear our quest ticking away. In fact, we almost killed Gul'dan from that. And that's where the real power of Nazeebo comes from in terms of the team fights or his dueling. It's, with this build especially, it's when you catch an enemy hero inside your zombie wall, you get the spiders on top of them. Both of those combo so well together, they just get tons of damage out, and it can be extremely effective. So I suppose that's sort of the ideal thing you're looking for in most of their circumstances. Especially a big fat hero where every single one of the zombies can hit them. Like Gul'dan's pretty big, so it gets quite a bit of value. Gonna rotate around here up top. Looks like there's a big fight going down. Gonna throw in a zombie wall here. We catch, speaking of big fat heroes, we catch the Azmodan. He takes a lot of damage from that. Pretty nice. It looks like, actually, looking at that, it looks like, oh, whoops. Cars seem not quite aiming that right. It looks like all the zombies don't attack. Maybe there's a limit to how many can attack. 'Cause there's one that was definitely touching him that wasn't attacking, if I was spotting that correctly. But yeah, with this Dead Rush talent, you can see I'm using pretty much all my abilities to wave clear here. The zombie wall especially becomes a very powerful wave clear tool. You can also throw it down on structures. So we could throw it down around a tower, you can throw it down around a fort, and just like against heroes, it will add up to a whole chunk of extra damage. It's very nice. Unfortunately, this Azmodan being a big jerk, he clears out the whole wave that we've built up and prevents our push. Very inconsiderate of him. It was very mean. We get him with the spiders, though. At this stage, we're almost 10 minutes into the game. We're only just over halfway through our quest. Feels bad, man. And at level 13, now we get a talent called Superstition. And this is the really cool thing about Nazeebo for me. You're going to take, with this ability, take half damage from abilities. This is why I chose Nazeebo in this game, because they picked Alarak, Azmodan as I think their first 2 picks, and then they followed it up with Gul'dan, and I went, okay, that's fine by me. I guess I'll just grab Nazeebo. This is perfect. I figured he'd be pretty decent on this map, and then if we do get hit by any of these big chunky ability damage spells, basically all of Azmodan's damage, all of Gul'dan's damage, all of Alarak's damage, we're going to take half damage. We can basically, for the most part, just ignore these heroes. They can almost do nothing against us. We're super resistant to them. Now, in return, we do take 30% extra damage from basic attacks, so we become very vulnerable to basic attack heroes. I think it's a really cool niche, I think, to bear in mind when you are picking Nazeebo or considering what to pick. If the enemy team has picked only heroes that do ability damage, if they have no basic attack type heroes, consider picking Nazeebo as one of your ranged damage dealers, because he's going to be incredibly tanky, incredibly hard to kill. As you can see at the moment, 10 minutes into the game, we've almost 4,000 max life, and we're taking half damage. I was hoping to save the Karazim with the wall, but he actually went back in for a few basic attacks, which is unfortunate. But there you can see that Alarak is poking us a little bit. We could just turn around and start fighting him, because I'm confident. Okay, I think we're going to get hit by a Q now from the Nazeebo. Yeah? Oh, no, okay, it doesn't get hit by that. But you can see, like, I've just got no fear. No fear. Oh my god, does he make it out? No, it looks like he's going to die. He does die in the end. Okay, so Vala's going to actually do a lot of damage to us because her basic attacks are going to do more. So we're expecting to be dead at this stage. Unfortunately, we have no mana left to do anything else. We do catch him with the spiders right at the end. And uh-oh, he is running for his life. Oh, the spiders fall over and die before he can get down. That was so close. A little bit unlucky. A little bit unlucky, but oh well. And we're 5 stacks now away from finishing that level 1 quest. So finally, better late than never. Should be pretty good. I went for the Gargantuan heroic as well. I quite like both heroics. I was checking this to see if we get anything while we're stacking it. You actually don't. So this has been a useless talent for 12 minutes of the game, which is pretty bad. I'm not sure about the other ones. I'm not sure. And I'm looking at level 16, what we're going to pick up here. I think I go for Spider Colony in this game, which is going to let us use our Q much more often while we're at high health. Ring of Poison obviously makes that zombie wall kind of single target burst whenever you catch someone out of position even more powerful. I think that's a big downside though for me with Nazeebo. Maybe it actually makes the pushing on structures even stronger. Well, obviously it would. But for me, one of the downsides with Nazeebo is that, oops, as we miss our spider jar, it's a pretty difficult ability to land, zombie wall. Like, you're not going to land it every time. Sometimes you're going to miss. And when you do miss, you do a lot less. And so much of your value, so much of what you do comes from that. I decided to pick up the Spider Colony here. I said that's probably going to be pretty useful for poking things out, for just getting a little bit of pressure on, as I miss it. You can see once again, I'm not too scared of the enemy team. Certainly a bit scared of Vala, but not too scared. And you can see, even though we tank up 3 of them for quite a long time, we walk out, still plenty of health. We've got 4,000 HP right now, which is pretty huge. Unfortunately, that Gargantuan is literally his max range is about an inch away from that tower, so he's just going to enjoy the sights. He's not going to actually attack it. Sorry, I did not like my amazing zombie wall. I thought it was brilliant. We're going to throw it down here on the fort, and you're going to see the damage numbers just pop up. You can see them ticking away. Adds up to quite a nice chunk of damage against that fort. It's pretty good. And also bear in mind, the zombie walls will, they will attack, or they will drain ammo of structures, which is pretty nice. You can see there that the fort is attacking it. So that sort of adds to your push as well. Much like Zagara will, quite easily, or Azmodan to a certain extent, drain structures of their ammunition quite quickly. You can do that with zombie wall, which is pretty good. Gonna do that once again. Throw in the zombie wall. Throw in some spiders as well. As we push in here, that's the enemy's second keep down. We're moving in. Just following up some basic attacks. And we are onto the core. Hit it with the spiders. Get feared away. Throw it out in the Gargantuan as well. Just help zoning out a little bit. You can see Alarak is on us. The poison is on us as well, and it really doesn't burst us for all that much. It's really not that scary. Trying to find the Vala right here. She's just gonna 1v1 me to the face, but the zombies are gonna chase her down and scare her away. Gul'dan here doing what he can too, but the... Oh, Gul'dan actually dying. Oh, Vala actually dying as well. And at the same time, the core goes down too. And there you go. That was our little bit of a look at Nazeebo. I think it went pretty well. It was obviously a bit of a stomp, a one-sided game, but that would be more so the nature of the videos that I bring you in this series, because I want to try out these heroes. And it's unranked draft, so it could literally take 3 hours or something to find a good game where I actually get to pick what I think is a pretty niche hero like Nazeebo. It could take hours, 3, 4, 5 hours to, number one, get him in a game where I think he's a good pick in the draft. Then number two, to play pretty well on him. And then number three, to have it not be a stomp, to have it be a pretty even game. That's going to be a pretty difficult thing to get for some of these heroes. So, yeah. Oh well, you can see we died only 2 times during the match, while similar players averaged 2.7. So people obviously don't die in Nazeebo very much, which is pretty interesting. Like I said, I feel once you get that level 13 talent Superstition, he gets really, really powerful. Let me open up the talent calculator so I can grab you the name of the final talent. There you go. You can see the talents that we went for in this game. I thought it was a pretty decent build. I quite like it. Not certain about what's the best one at level 1. Honestly, that one seems pretty open to me. The Widowmakers didn't work out well in this game, but we had an awful lane matchup at the start. I would say, I can't tell you off the top of my head what 1v1 lanes Nazeebo wins. I would say against any of the top laners at the moment, he probably does pretty badly. He might do okay against Chen or Dahaka because he kind of kite them around a little bit. Maybe, I'm not sure. Or can stack up like this. Obviously, you can stack the Spider's Quest, for example, against Chen very easily because Chen stands still so much of the time. So he might do well against those. But I say against Thrall, against Alarak, against probably Falstad, I'd say probably against any ranged hero, he's just going to get owned. Any good ranged solo lane hero, he's going to get owned. It's the same thing. It's like I said, Sergeant Hammer, Sylvanas, heroes that can push well. Even Zagara right now in her current form, they don't make for very good solo laners. Because solo laning is not about pushing, it's about stopping your structures from being overrun. It's about being safe, having good sustain, and decent poke. So yeah, that's why other heroes are so much better. Again, it's like Chen is not really going to be pushing down your structures, but he's a beast in a solo lane. Rex are not really going to be pushing down your structures, but the thing is you can't actually push into them. You can't actually kill them and get them out of the solo lane. That's why they're so good. Big Voodoo at level 4 was pretty nice as well. Just as you saw, we had huge max health, and plenty of mana to play with too. So I do like that talent a lot. I'd say that's probably my favorite there at level 4. Level 7, I liked the Dead Rush a lot. Oh, sorry, it's actually 5 zombies get up and attack people. It's not 3, it's 5, which is really nice. The Gargantuan was pretty cool as well. Nice bit of zone control. Like I said, though, I do think both heroics are very nice. They're both very strong. I like both of them. I think they're good options. Superstition, definitely my favorite at level 13. I'd say probably Ice Block is the other one you want to go for. And obviously now Ice Block is much weaker. You know, 50% less damage from abilities all the time, but 30% more from basic attacks. Or Ice Block, I don't think there's any comparison. So yeah, I would say you definitely want to be picking up Superstition. So you want to be picking Nazeebo only in circumstances where they have very few basic attack type heroes, where they're mostly ability damage, and then you can exploit that a little bit. Level 16, they all look pretty good. I went for the Spider Colony in this video. It was nice. Ring of Poison might be better though, especially with the Dead Rush ability. Yeah, I'm not sure. They both seem pretty strong. It's going to depend on how confident you are at landing those, or what you're trying to do. I'd say both options are very, very good. And then at level 20, I think Vile Infection is almost definitely the way you're going to go. Which is once you have 150 stacks of Voodoo Ritual, which you should hit. You should hit that. That's your trait. You should have hit that by the time you reach level 20. But once you've done that, you'll now apply your poison to heroes, and it increases the damage of your poison by 200%. Okay, this will not only make your push, your split push much stronger, your wave clear much stronger, but it's going to make your damage in team fights absolutely massive. You're going to start churning out huge amounts of damage to any enemies. It's anytime one of your basic attacks or your abilities hits an enemy hero, then with this, it's going to poison them with 6-second dot. And that's going to add up to an awful lot, especially when you consider that you're doing a lot of AoE type abilities. That's going to add up to tons of damage across the enemy team. It's a bit unfortunate we actually didn't get to show it in this video, because I think it's, again, one of the cooler talents. But yeah, I think that's the one to go for. The other options are pretty good, but I have to say, I can't see any of them beating Vile Infection. It just seems so strong for adding so much sustained damage to team fights. It seems really useful. And there you go, guys. That's Nazeebo. He seems like a pretty strong pushing hero. Superstition is a super cool talent. And yeah, he's a kind of nice sustained damage dealer. He seems okay. I'd say, you know, he's okay. I think he's tier 2. I don't think he's tier 1 by any means. He's not anywhere on the level of like Vala or Sergeant Hammer, in my opinion. Or Gul'dan, for that matter. Any of the other top tier sustained damage dealers. I think he's quite noticeably weaker than those. Questionable as a solo laner as well. It'd be interesting to play him within a 4-man rotation. That'd be kind of interesting to try out. But he does have pretty good push. Like when he gets let loose a little bit later in the game, as you saw, you were able to push in lanes and get a lot of damage down. That was pretty cool. So yeah, Nazeebo, he's okay. He's not terrible. He's not great. I think he's decent. And I don't know, personally, I didn't find him super fun, but he's kind of cool. There you go. I think I actually preferred him before the rework because he was so easy to play. It was one of those ones that you could do kind of brainlessly. But anyway, give it a thumbs up, guys, if you liked the video. Let me know what you think of the new Nazeebo. And again, a hero that I have very little experience with. So any sort of insights that you guys have into, like, let us know, like, what sort of league you're playing in and how he performs in those different leagues. What sort of playstyles seem to work really well. What talents are working pretty well. And yeah, I'm curious to see how he performs in those ones. For example, where you don't have people that play Alarak very well. Maybe Nazeebo could be a bit more powerful. I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you all next time. Bye-bye.